Hello everyone. This is where I left off last week. I was trying different methods, cutting, rolling, covering, of intervening within the type. There were several ideas here that stood out to me, and honestly I could have chosen any direction to pursue, but being that this class has an end date in 1 week, I would like to culminate this project with a final tangible object. When Sarah and I spoke over Zoom, she suggested that if I had a final format in mind, I could start there and work backward. For whatever reason, I kept envisioning this project as a poster. Maybe because I usually ramble on in these videos, explaining and dissecting my entire process, whereas a poster offers the viewer a singular take on the work. The idea of being brief feels nice. Continuing with my same fake wooden no smoking sign, I decided to use the images of the sign as material, as well as the material suggested within the image, i.e. wood and type. With the first set of images, I really just tried to play. I didn't want to plan or overthink about what I was making, though maybe that'll be my downfall. We'll see. First, I printed a copy of the original sign and began pairing the printed wooden sign with another sample of fake wood flooring. I tried to match up the grain directions and blend the two materials seamlessly. I also happened to have a leftover piece of oak in my studio and quickly paired that with the fake sign. And then I cut out some of the letters and began pairing that cutout over the actual wood. And finally, the letters with the actual wood. This was most interesting to me because it actually did closely resemble the wood sign. You could see the grain in the rough cut of the log, but the shadows of the tiny letter forms, each one taped on with the type, were very visible, adding a very different sense of dimension than the plastic sign held. I also then quickly added in a red color gel to see what would happen. Red, traditionally, as we know, is used to grab attention and convey warning, so it seemed like an appropriate color choice if I were to add one to this project. I continued taking more images, with the red gel and without, layering all of the materials, type, image, and wood, over one another. I flagged these 14 because elements of them stood out to me: the tension, the balance, the uncertainty of perspective. I moved over to InDesign and began compiling the images. This is where I am comfortable working, identifying likeness of shapes and color and pairing them together. In that same conversation with Sarah this week, she mentioned not wanting to reformat information that's already out in the world. I think that best describes where my head is at right now with this project. I don't want to simply present a catalog about the content that I've gathered, but rather intervene in that content and present it in a new way, like pairing real wood with fake wood, for example, and then formally exploring that juxtaposition. Currently, based on what I've accomplished and discovered in my work this week, it feels like there are 3 potential ways I can explore that. The first direction, stemming from the photo on the top left, is to finish out the text and create a poster where the sign is literally applied to a piece of wood. The second idea on the top right is a version of the same idea, but separating each layer onto its own plane and playing with both dimension and legibility. And the third possibility is to continue this direction on the bottom, using the sign as a material to create a new version. So unfortunately, no final piece to share this week, but I do have a much more clear direction on where I'm going next. Thank you.